What do you mean record?
Can you guys hear me well? Like,
I'm terrified. Am I the only one?
Oh, brother.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Avonlea Tales. Today is our first episode, and we can't wait for you all to listen and enjoy. So, my name is Evelyn, and I am Queen Anne Blythe on Twitter.
I'm Sav, and I'm Gil to my Anne.
I'm Becky, and I'm Chaos and Cam.
I'm Layla, and I'm a Nature Symphony on Twitter.
So, should we kind of get into our discussion of, how we got into Anne with an E? Does that sound okay to you guys?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, we kind of got three main points. Did you read the books, how you discovered the show, and, why you liked it? So, I'll start first. It was, oh my gosh, it was back maybe like 2.5 years ago. And I remember I'm a huge period drama fan, period. Like I'm just like a sucker for period dramas. And I remember I was going through a bit of a rut trying to find like a good TV show to watch. And I remember I stumbled across Anne with an E on Netflix. I think season 2 had just come out.
Mhm.
So I think like the trailer or something was like the top banner on Netflix. And I just remember watching it and being kind of intrigued because I used to have the first book, like it was kind of a kid's version of the first book in my dad's office when I was a kid. And I remember I used to page it through and, see it. I don't remember anything about it, but I just remember like, okay, I kind of knew the story, but I was interested in like, I don't know, I was just interested in it. And so I remember I watched the first like couple episodes. I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And then, what I'm going to say. Episode 3 came on. and, like that, the slate scene happened. And I was like, God damn, like this is it. I love this show.
Interest peaked.
Exactly. I was kind of like, okay, this is actually really cool. I like this a lot. Like, holy shit. So I don't know. I found it very intriguing. And then I also, obviously got into, more of how they incorporated stuff from, society today into the story. And I just felt that the cinematography, the soundtrack, and just the characters were so well built, and obviously the romance between Anne and Gilbert was just fleshed out well, and I thought it was good so far, and I was very intrigued by it, and I think I binged watched it all. And then ultimately I watched his season 3 live, and then and then after that, I went back and I read the first book, and I don't know, it was interesting, but yeah, I just kind of rambled on a bit, so my apologies. You guys are able to butt in anytime, but that's kind of how I got into Anne with me.
So mine was, sorry, Sam,
no.
you go first.
Go for it. Go for it.
No, I feel like a blow-in. I should probably go last because I've been here like the least amount of time.
No, go
Go.
ahead.
It doesn't
Go
matter,
on.
whatever
So-
order.
No, I like your story. Yours is intriguing.
Yeah.
So, I only started watching it like last October. And it was at the same time Sanditon was airing on TV over here, and I was watching it just like week on week because it was on our TV, and got very into Sidlot edit videos on YouTube, so I was binging them a little bit, and then there was like a little Anne and Gilbert video that come up at the bottom, and I remember the song and everything that was in it. It was
What video
Distance
was
by
it?
I don't actually remember, but it had Distance by Christina Perry playing in the background. And it ended. Have you seen that one?
No, I
No.
haven't watched any Anne and Gilbert fan videos for an entire year. I have
neither have
Have you
I.
been in my watch
Yeah,
list
same.
for an
Like,
entire
oh my
year.
god.
Breaks
Am I
my
like
heart.
the only loser person that's been watching them?
No. I used to watch them all the time, but
Same. Like after every episode,
Yeah.
but
yeah,
Okay,
Now it's
too
like,
much now.
making me feel so much better. But I thought it was like just me, like 26 in my bedroom, binge watching Anne and Gilbert videos.
Hey,
Definitely not.
definitely not the only person in this fandom doing that. I mean,
Good.
I do it.
So this one ended on the little scene outside the church at Bash and Mary's wedding, and it was like tragical romance and all. It remains to be seen, and I was like, oh, this is interesting, sort of like how this is going. So I watched it then on Netflix over my midterm break, so like my Halloween break, And I think season 3 was airing on
Yeah.
CBC.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Should we like block CBC out? They shall not be named. And at the same time, censor them. Yeah. So it was airing there at the same time, and yeah, I caught up. So like over here, I got myself a VPN, but I had to stay up until like 1 a.m. to be able to watch it on a Sunday night, and then get up the next morning, go into school and teach. And I was like no good teaching. I was like just like thinking of Anna the Eighth the whole day. Came home again, watched it a second time. Yeah, and that was nearly. I have read the books, but Anne of Green Gables wasn't really a big thing over here, so I didn't read them until after I watched the show, and I think I've only read up to the third one. But yeah, that's me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Love that. That's so cool.
Yeah. Weird way to get into it, but that's how it happened.
I mean,
I think it's
always that one edit.
Yeah.
That one edit. I mean,
thank you, whoever you are.
I feel like you need to like shout it out, like give praise.
I mean,
I should re-find it again.
Yeah.
The Christina Perry season 2 distance edit. Thank you so much. You led me to here.
Shout out to you.
Now, yeah, like Anne and Gilbert will get you, I guess.
Oh god.
Yeah.
100%.
Suck you in.
Yeah. No. Well, I guess I got into it when I was 11, and I was gifted the Anne of Green Gables book when for my birthday by my aunt. So shout out to my aunt. I guess. And I don't know. I read the first book, and I watched the 80s versions, which I loved. Currently, I've only read about 3.5-ish books, but I've
read.
How many? Wait, what?
I've read one so far. I was supposed to read half of Anne of Avonlea, and no.
I mean, yeah. No. Yeah. No. How did I get into it? Originally, I saw the trailer for Anne with an E before it came out, and I was super excited. I'm like, oh, a new version, and the whole like pet mouse storyline was in the it was in the trailer, and I was just not.
Oh, what? Whoa.
I didn't want to. I was like, oh, I don't want to watch it. Like it's ruining this like nice story. I think it was kind of interesting now, like looking back.
I think it's just one of those scenes that when you're watching it though, you're like cringing at it. It's not that I hate it. It's just one of the ones that I'm like, oh goodness.
Yeah.
But I think I started watching it right before season 2 came out. Watched season 1 and then season 2. Definitely live watched season 3 with a VPN. It was it was towards the end of exams as well. So it wasn't the greatest timing for season 3 to happen. I was reading multiple fanfics and should have been studying, but that's how I got here. Yes.
Yeah, no, that's cool. God bless those VPNs. And I remember, I just remember, every single week we'd be discussing like, oh, what VPN are you using? Are you paying for it? How do you not go over the limit? Like, I think it was like 2 gigabytes or something, or 5 gigabytes or whatever. It was.
There was a limit. I'm such a technophobe. I just switched it on and hope for the best.
For the free Windscribe version, I remember there was like a limit. I think it was 10 gigs.
Was
10 gigs.
I don't know. I'm always learning new things in this fandom.
Oh, same.
100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just remember like they'd be like, okay, turn off your VPN during the commercial breaks, and to get it down. So something like that. I don't know.
Oh gosh, the commercials. There was a Red Bull motorbike commercial, and it was the only one that I saw. Did anybody else have the Red Bull motorbike commercial? Is that just me?
No.
Oh my
probably.
goodness.
I don't recall them anymore.
I'm going to take war flashbacks over the Red Bull motorbike commercial. It was the worst.
You know what gives me war flashbacks? That final episode thumbnail.
Oh my God, stop.
I don't get war flashbacks. So that was my favorite one. I
No,
love
well, I
that.
don't know. I don't know
I
if it
thought
was.
it ruined the whole thing. Well, it didn't, but you know, it could have.
Yeah, I started watching Anne in 2017 when it came out because my friend recommended it to me. And because I'm from Canada, Anne of Green Gables is like a staple thing. So I read the books when I was really young, of course, but I don't recall much of it besides like the main facts. Yeah, so I watched 2017 and then I'd like forget about it. And then I'd be like, oh my God, season 2 came out, and I'd watch it again, obviously, and just be like so captivated by everything that was on the show. And then when season 3 was coming around, I was like, I need more people to talk to this about. So I regenerated my Tumblr account and made it into like an Anne with an E one, and then just spent every single Sunday and Monday like obsessing over every detail of Anne with an E, fix edits, whatever. And then I met some really cool people through Tumblr, and then we ended up on Twitter.
Hey yo.
Hey.
So
Well, that really directly leads into our, next kind of discussion point of like,
literally.
How we got into this fandom. Like, Layla brought up a good point about how she got into Tumblr, and I've been on Tumblr for, oh my gosh, for a good amount of time, maybe 8 years or so. So my Tumblr's been around for a while, and I just remember, I bounced around between so many fandoms, and I was in a bit of a dull period because like the show I had been watching had recently ended, and I'd been waiting for something to change my Tumblr blog into something else. And yeah, so I started out on Tumblr, and obviously I have like a main Tumblr that was like my main one for the old one, but I just remember I wasn't getting like a whole lot of interaction with it. So then I created a side blog just dedicated to Anne with an E, and I just remember, it really helped me find people to talk to about. All I know is every Sunday I'd watch the episode and I'd live blog it, and that was so much fun. And then, I'd spend the entire week reblogging GIFs and, discussion posts and theories and
Those
stuff.
posts were just so fast. Like 30
No.
minutes later, there was like a gift set ready to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what?
I think it was an interesting culture of being on Tumblr when it was airing. It was definitely a different aspect than it was Twitter. So, we're all based on Twitter now, but I didn't get into Twitter until November 25th.
Till we had to.
No, for sure. No, because I think a lot of people are also surprised that Tumblr was so active at the time, but it was just like so much, and there were so many people.
We were always top 3, top 4 trending like every single weekend. Like, it was.
And like I probably had like I already had my side blog that I'm using for my Anne with an E stuff now, but I probably had like 20 followers, and it just grew so quickly.
So
same.
So I think,
not to be like the person who's like, oh my God, we're obsessed with followers, but I just remember like, one night you'd have 50 followers, and then the next morning you'd have like 100. So it's like, there were so many people watching it, and I just remember how much it grew and like amassed in size, and then
No, I think it's not particularly about the followers. It's just like it was an indication of how many people were like looking for content, and just like because we were like following each other, they were like in the whole Tumblr group chat fiasco.
Oh my God.
Oh God, that was hilarious.
That was
But obviously we moved to Twitter, which was so confusing, and I did not. I still don't understand Twitter completely.
Which do you guys prefer though? Which do you guys prefer? I mean, do you prefer Twitter or Tumblr?
I
Tumblr.
I like
Tumblr very often. So like Twitter is all that I've known. Like I've been on Tumblr, and I have one that I use just to like post for like update anything, but I don't really do much else on it. So I know Twitter. Twitter's all I have really.
I mean, I don't mind either one. I think to me they're two separate entities. I feel like I go to Tumblr to be immersed in like a fandom. And there I see GIFs and artwork posted, whereas Twitter, I feel like it's more of a personal, I mean, it's not super personal, but I feel like it's more of like a, you know, I don't know.
There's a lot more talking going on. I feel.
Yeah. I feel like
always
it's a lot
like
more
discussion.
texting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot more social, I feel. And obviously, I feel like it's just a different platform to be social on. Obviously, it's just social media. So I think for now, I like Twitter because obviously this is where it's the most active. I still have my Tumblr blog, and my Tumblr blog is Queen Anne Blythe, my same Twitter one, and I still try to keep active on there by reblogging, queuing up GIFs and stuff, but it's just not as social as Twitter.
And like it was it is to a certain degree, but I feel like everyone sort of moved over when we got cancelled. And most of the people from Tumblr are also now on Twitter, and now we have like friends on Twitter as well. So I think right now, like after the cancellation, it's just easier to be on Twitter, or for me at least. And I feel like there's less posts on Tumblr than there used to be. So
I
guess that's
like,
there
is 100%. I mean, I just remember every morning I'd wake up and I'd scroll through,
go through the tag,
just trying to like catch up where I was the other night. And I just remember I'd be scrolling for like 30 minutes trying to catch up.
No, now I feel like now you can catch up. Like you can pretty much get
through the
content.
Like I've told you guys before, but like I was a lurker before I ever sort of like joined anything really. And on like a Monday and during my tea break in school, so I get like 15 minutes, I would have like had my mobile data on and just been like scrolling through Tumblr a little, to sort of try and like, because there's some things that happened like during season 3 and you're like, is that a fever dream or did that actually happen? So to like go back and sort of like what's the word that I'm looking for? Like reinforce it in your head that, it actually did happen. Like episode 5 was a thing,
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I remember about that is, seeing the previews of it. I remember.
Oh, yes.
Goodness.
It was like the blurry
the
version.
Clowning.
The clowning.
But I guess transition into what's been your favorite part of fandom life so far? I think my favorite part, it doesn't have to be super specific. I know for me, my favorite part has been, and this is going to sound so cheesy, but it really has been about the friendship I've created. I feel like I have created long-lasting friendships with some of these people due to, the fact that we have shared similarities or shared interests. Obviously we're all connected. We've created this, podcast based on the fact that we all like Anne with an E. We like discussing about it. So, I don't know. For me, it's just kind of been the friendships and, just the laughs I've had over the past, 2 years. Because obviously, well, I guess a year or so, because it's been very up and down in, my personal life and stuff. So I think that having a good support system and having a good place where you can laugh and, go to kind of escape in a way has been helpful for me. If that, I know that sounds so cheesy, but it's true. Anyway.
No, that's definitely, it sounds, I mean, I was going to say the same thing. It does sound cheesy, like, but, that's like kind of a bulk of your experience in like a fandom, I guess, the people. And like we were, all 4 of us are from 4 different countries, would have never met otherwise. And like here we are,
oh my God. I sorry to, interrupt. I think that's incredible to think about. Like, if we hadn't have met on this platform of, Twitter or Tumblr, we would have never, ever interacted in our own real lives. Like I would have never been able to find Sav. I would have never been able to, go visit Becky or anything, or even find Layla. Like that's just crazy to think about.
Yeah.
I know it is. I think though as well, it's like it's a lovely support network too, having like people that aren't maybe like people that sit completely in your personal life as well, if you know what I mean. Like that sometimes if you've got like things going on and it's like easier sometimes to speak to people that aren't like actually in it with you, I think it's nice. Like we have like all of our group chats and things, and the support that you get there is like different from like support that you would get from like real life people. It's sort of, you know, maybe more of like a personal involvement in issues sometimes as well, or like things that's going on at the minute or like whatever. I think that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
And like because I write too, I think like the support that you get off other people is like lovely, makes it all worthwhile. It's nice.
Yeah, and like it's really fun to like create stuff and like see people kind of like get some joy out of things that you put out, you know?
Mhm.
And like funny posts, the memes, just everything.
I mean,
You know?
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no, for me the same. Like literally the people that's like I never expected to be on Twitter this long, to be honest. I just don't like the platform. But yeah, like the friendships, even if they're not real life ones, like that we've made are just special, right?
Yeah,
So,
Not to get sappy.
like it's weird to walk away from it, right?
I know.
Yeah, you can't just
And there's like people that have come in and like into your life through it, and you sort of feel like they are like there's some people, and I feel like my personality is more similar to them than anybody that I like I'm friends with.
I agree. Oh my gosh, yes. Well,
Really, really
you know,
personalities, interests. I
I
think
feel
that.
you know, I always feel like I would feel, I mean, I've tried to, you know, say, oh yeah, I watched this show and, you know, you should watch it. But I feel like none of my real life friends would watch it and understand like why I appreciate the show the way I do.
Yeah.
Mine are the same. And there's times as well where I like go like really covert and act as if I'm really not that interested in it. Where like other people will talk about it, I'll be like, oh yeah, that, yeah, I'm like I might have watched it a wee while ago or something.
I know. Yeah.
You're not completely obsessed with it. I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, it's like
can't relate.
You don't remember that one line he said obscurely, like pardon?
You know.
It's like I have an account and I write fanfic and I pretend that I don't know what they're talking about.
No, that's very
no, I love that. No, that's I haven't had anyone do that to me because I haven't had anyone like in my real life come up to me and be like, oh my god, have you watched this show? And I haven't been like, yeah, I'm pretty obsessed with it.
My aunt, like I've got two aunts that have watched it. And like both times I've sort of pretended that I haven't really known what it is, but I have casually directed them towards a petition. You know, they have signed the petition.
Oh my god. I remember I was scrolling through my Facebook one time and this was like, I don't know, maybe mid-January or February, or maybe no, it was during lockdown, I remember. So it had to have been like March or something like that. I remember scrolling through my Facebook and seeing someone who I'm friends with on Facebook, like an older, you know, mom or something, post the petition saying, you know, her and her daughters had watched this, binge watched this, and had wanted more. And she signed the petition and shared it. And like 20 people liked it. And like 3 people left comments being like, oh my god, yeah, we loved this show. We wish it could come back. Definitely sign the petition. Like, like yes.
I think that there's also like a. Sorry, go what?
You know, I wanted to, I would have loved to have been like, oh my gosh, like love that. Like I was one of those people who like, you know, was wanting to make sure people signed the petition, but you know, I didn't want to be like, oh my god, like this, she's so crazy about the show. Like, no. Didn't end up commenting on that post, but I remember I took a screenshot and I sent it to you. It's Sav and Layla. I remember I sent it to you guys and being like, oh my god, you guys, look, someone in my real life has actually watched the show and signed the petition.
Right.
So.
Yeah, there's definitely a distinct difference between being in the fandom and being a huge fan and being like a passive fan. Passive fan, is that the right? I don't even know. Because
a local.
a local. Because I definitely like I had some family friends. I had an Anne with an E background on my phone, as you do. And she's like, oh my god, is that Anne? Like, you know, and she's like, oh, I love that show. I watched it with my mom and I got really freaking excited. I could not contain my joy. And then I'm like, okay, you know, dial it down. She doesn't need to know you're crazy. But I was like, oh my god, once you watch episodes, it wasn't even out on Netflix yet. And I'm like,
oh my god, once you watch episode 3, you're gonna be hooked. I mean, that was it for me.
like they hadn't seen season 3 yet, and I was like, oh my god, you're gonna call me when you see like episode 5 or whichever one.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun.
Mary was
I
no
tried to get
longer.
Episode 3.
I've watched it with one of my sisters, and my other sister isn't really into period dramas. So I tried to get her into it because I was like, it's really good. Like, I just wanted an excuse to watch it again. You know, I didn't want people to think I was like completely insane, like fifth time watching it, like back to back. So I was like, you know, I'll watch it with my sister so I have an excuse to watch it. But she decided she wanted to watch it in her own house. So it was kind of rubbish for me because obviously I'm not in her own house all the time.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she texted me in like season 2 and she's like, why have they changed the actor for Gilbert?
Oh my god. No.
Where?
He didn't change that much, did he?
Oh, she was like convinced. She's like, yeah, like he's completely different. And I was like, he's not. Like, his name is still the same in the credits. Like, still he's doing.
That's so
same
funny.
kid, like, he's just grown up a little bit.
I love that conspiracy theory that like he was switched out in season.
Yeah, she was like, no, he's definitely different. He looks completely different.
He
And I
didn't. He
was
Was there a
literally did not
reason?
change that much.
But like, he hasn't changed that much. And then I like sent her like IMDb and everything. I was like, damn boy, like this is the IMDb page for this, and she was like, he's different.
Is she still
Did
convinced?
she end up watching? Did she end up watching season 3, or was she like?
And
Oh,
she's
No, it's another different one. All of a sudden,
You gotta convince her to watch it, but you need to you need to 100 convince her that like every season it's a new one. But like,
New Gilbert.
wait, does she think that Anne's the same? Like, Anne's 100% the same.
Oh yeah, she's the
but
same.
she's changed so much.
More. Like,
Yeah,
her
she's changed a lot, but it's Gilbert who is. Oh my god, that's hilarious. I love that.
But she was like so convinced. I think it was the haircut and the fact that he got a little bit taller. But she was like, no, he had a tan as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I mean, but
So
yeah,
she-
make her watch season 3 because like season 3 is a huge difference for all. I remember watching.
Yeah, that was a big jump.
Well, and I remember watching 301 and being
Moody
like, "Holy
though,
crap."
as well. Just like
Of course,
so
she had the
different.
biggest glow up. I wish I could have a glow up like that again.
No, he was so different.
No, but I just remember watching that first episode and be like, "Oh my god, they grew so much! Like that's incredible! Like it's you know, I don't know. It was funny to think that, but you have to make her watch. Just watch 301. Just have her watch 301.
No,
just
like
have
all she
her,
would
like-
take notice board saying, and she, like I know she would be sucked in, but she hasn't gotten that far.
Yeah.
She took a break like ages ago to watch like How to Get Away with Murder or something like that, and that's not really my thing. So like I suppose me forcing on her is the equivalent of her forcing How to Get Away with Murder on me. But
But that
I'm
has so
also
many
you could
seasons.
make
I
it-
would
make it
not
like a 2-for-1
argue that
deal.
the actor has changed. What is it?
Literally, we're gonna make this like a weekly thing. Like, okay, you need to convince her he's changed. Like every single season, it's a new. God, that's so
a new
funny. I
one.
can't believe it. That's so hilarious. Like I would have never. I mean, he literally looks the same.
I know,
Yeah.
but she was so cross about it too. Like me arguing with her. And she was like writing back and just like I was getting all of these like exclamation marks and all. I was like, there's no issue here. Like you can't argue with the credits. Same kid.
you can't argue with the credits.
Oh my god, that is so funny. I love that. So yeah, wow. Yeah, okay. Well, I think
Should we do a little section on like silly things that's happened that we've enjoyed that's part of the fandom? You know, like Banana Wars or
I feel like this should go into, shout out to the week because I was gonna say I loved that one tweet that I put it out where it was like, what feels like an Anne with an E moment that like
oh yeah,
Didn't happen or whatever.
Ollie,
or that
right?
happened. Like what felt like a Anne with an E moment that I don't know, happened or
Was it
didn't.
Charlie?
Yeah. it
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
yeah.
And I just remember scrolling through and getting getting
Yeah, remembering all the memories.
what has happened and like you said, the Banana Wars. I
Banana Wars is
posted.
so
I
weird.
missed the Banana Wars, but
Oh, the Banana
I
Wars.
wasn't really a part of it.
No, see, I was like, I just remember when it was happening, I like tweeted and I was like, what is actually going on with the bananas at the minute? I just didn't get it. But I think it started in the sock group chat. And then I had just tweeted and was like, what's going on with bananas? and somebody wrote underneath and were like, "What's your opinion of bananas?" And I remember being so afraid.
No, but you were like quite new, I feel like, back then.
Yeah, I was new enough still, so I only joined in June. Did I? Yeah, I did. I joined in June, so I was still quite new. And yeah, I remember being really terrified because I was like, people aren't going to speak to me. If I give them an answer and they're not happy with it, so
People are not going to speak to me if I like, put out my support for
bananas. 100% though. I like joined Twitter thinking nobody's going to talk to me. Like,
Oh, that's
I just
not-
remember.
it's going to be so awkward, and I'll just disappear again in like a day.
No, I just had finished like chapter 8 or 9 of Book Boyfriend, and I was like, oh my god, the writer's here. Like, I was so excited.
I was like, no, because the only people that I knew really were Elodie and Layla. So I knew the two of them because they were commenting on AO3. And I was like, well, if I have nobody else, I have them too. So I arrived here, and yeah, so I think they were the two first people that I followed were the two of them. And
I remember Becky when she showed up. She was just like this wholesome presence with like her little sunflower in her name, and I was like, and then she was super excited about Avonlea 4.
yes,
Like the biggest fangirl, and I was just like, she's so sweet.
it was so exciting. I love that idea still. Like, it's just such good.
I posted for that one tweet. Sorry to get off topic. I posted what I remember most was felt like an Anne, doesn't feel like an Anne moment, but like was for like months straight. Whenever we'd have a trending party, we would reach like the top 10.
Yeah, we
crack like the top 10.
Yeah,
we would
fun.
be insane.
Would stay up till like 4 a.m. for those.
Oh yeah, and like you'd go crazy.
Yeah,
and then I also remember
nuts.
Yeah, but then I remember whenever Moira would post, she'd post like a behind the scenes picture, and then I remember she'd post a caption, of course.
And we'd overanalyze captions.
And she'd edit every single one.
Yeah, she'd edit like the emojis or something. So she'd have like 4 little, I don't know, like a leaf and a heart and a leaf and a heart, a leaf and a heart, and that'd be it. But then like an hour later, she'd go back and she'd edit it so that it'd be like 8, like a leaf and a heart, a leaf and a heart. And then, she'd go back and she'd take out the leaf and a heart and she'd make it, a leaf and a flower. And you'd be like, oh my God, like this is a sign, like, I just remember.
It means something.
I remember the memes, like we came up with a flower, like, post.
Oh, that was me and Mira.
Like, okay, this means, this one means A, this one means B, I just remember, or it was like, this one means renewal coming soon, this one means, it might not happen now, but it'll happen in the future, and like this one means it's like, okay, it's not happening right now, don't talk. Like, oh, I just remember that so vividly. That was hilarious.
That's so random that she did that though. Like, what was the point?
I don't know. I mean,
unless she was just trying to rile everybody up. I think she seems the sort, to play tricks on people.
She didn't think we'd care because she was like,
yeah, I don't think
fixer, but
I think it's just,
we cared.
For her. I highly doubt she ever realized that we were that like crazy about going that deep in her captions. Like, I just remember, I don't remember who it was, but I remember someone had, this was a joke, obviously. They created a cork board, and with the,
oh my God, that was me.
Yeah, with the red string, they like connected it to be like, oh my God, renewal confirmed.
Something I would do, honestly.
I thought that was my thing that I tweeted about.
I think the 1 million party was so much fun as well.
It was. I
love the party. Like, I still think about that party sometimes. It's just such good fun.
Oh, the 1 million. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
I remember that I wanted to draw something or like make something for it, but I just didn't have time. So like an hour or so before, there was like me frantically just drawing, like making this stuff so I could post it. And I managed to get like 3 or something out, but I just really wanted to do something for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember
it was just so much fun.
I don't remember what I did, and I'm very upset. I'll have to go back and like look at my tweets again because I have no memory of that party. I have
I
none.
think I did an
Yeah,
Irish
they-
slang thread.
Yes, I remember you.
Oh
did
yeah,
those,
yeah, you did.
guessing games too.
Oh yeah, you used to do the. Oh my god, I was obsessed with those. I was
Ooh,
obsessed with
yeah.
guessing.
I know I used to do those. And
That
guessing.
was fun. That was
And
fun.
Mira had all of those the like funny little memes that she made, and it was like
Yes.
Sarah in the background and like Devil Lobster, and it was like
Oh my
you know
God,
the
yeah.
claws and like Anne 1,000,000 beside it and all. They were so
She's
funny.
the salt queen. She loves those.
Yeah, she is.
So many good memories. But
Yeah.
in other news, shout-outs of the week. Well,
yes.
I guess we should just before we get to our shout-outs, I feel like we should just chat about this podcast. So
Mhm.
obviously this is our first podcast. You heard at the beginning of the introduction. This is going to be, just sort of a casual thing. We're all real people and we all have real lives and real life jobs. So this is something that's just going to be done when we have the time. As far as we know, we don't have an exact schedule planned out at this exact moment.
Yeah.
But once we start figuring out and start to come with, more information that works best for us in our lives, we'll try to come up with a good schedule so that, us, the fans can, tune in and be excited about, the day that it's coming out. Like I said, we don't really want to take away from our personal lives. Becky and I are teachers. Sav and Layla have, their personal lives. They've got their jobs. Sav's got, her schooling and stuff. So we really just want to make this a casual thing. And we do appreciate all the support and love you guys have given us. We never expected it to be this
I know it's
big.
been very unexpected. It's been really overwhelming, I think, as well. The amount of people that have been like retweeting and things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
I mean-
super sweet. I mean, I just tweeted out one day. I was like, I kind of want to do a podcast, and Evelyn
I
was
know,
so
and-
in.
Yeah, and Layla and Becky and I were like, oh my god, yeah. We never really thought it would get somewhere. We were always kind of like, oh, well, this is just a joke, and obviously at this point it's still kind of
fun.
just a fun thing, but the fact that it's kind of coming into fruition is kind of cool to see.
Yeah, it is.
So as we said, since this is driven by the fans, this is a podcast that's made by the fans for the fans. We want this to be very open. So we're always welcome to suggestions, and always welcome to it, always happy to include stuff. Maybe there's a post that you really wanted us to talk about, or maybe there's a fan theory that you really enjoyed back when season 3 was airing, or season 2. Please feel
Or
free
like
to
a
DM
crack
us.
theory. Shout out to Nikki and
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to Nikki. Or maybe you want to be featured on this podcast. Maybe there's going to be a
Ooh,
time
yeah.
when
Come talk with us.
on the podcast.
Mhm.
At this particular moment, we're not going to be having people since we're just getting started. But eventually, since this is for the fans, by the fans, we want you to be involved. So don't hesitate to DM us. Our DMs are open. You're welcome to DM us and ask us any questions about the podcast, or ask us, anything about what we're doing, or want us to discuss this on the podcast. So DM us and we'll try to get back
If
to
you
you.
feel a little shy, we all have curious cats as well, so they're like anonymous. If you
Yeah.
don't want to DM personally.
Yeah. So our curious cats are going to be in our bios. If you are more comfortable doing that, feel free to do that. So for us, we are going to be doing, every time we've got a podcast, we're going to be doing shout outs of the week. And these shout outs of the week are going to be, just stuff in our fandom that we've really enjoyed. So I guess we were kind of discussing before, we started filming. One of the things that we've all enjoyed was going on our Curious Cats and seeing our favorite bard write us these poems, these very heart touching poems. So
The Avonlea Tales.
we want to give a huge shout out to whomever.
Shout out, Bard.
Shout out.
Avonlea Bard is. We appreciate all you're doing, and we love the poem. So I think that's a majority of our shout out. Anyone else have another shout out they want to add?
I think shout out to Zender Garden as well for their lovely costume thread. I really enjoyed the costumes and all the little details and things. It was a really nice thread. And the fact that she actually got them after waiting so long as
Mhm.
well has been really lovely. So shout out to Zender Garden. Those
Yes, yes.
costumes are in safe hands.
Give her a huge amount of love since you know, she was able to get a lot of fan favorite costumes. You know, it feels good knowing that fans have these important items and it's not, you know, these people on eBay who are gonna upsell it at, you know, billions of dollars rather than, you know,
Yeah.
it's not billions of dollars, but like,
I'm
you
just,
know,
yeah. I'm just really glad that she got them because she's gonna like take care of them well as well. So,
I agree. So
shout
big
out.
shout out to Zender Garden. She's a lovely person and we love seeing her tweets on the timeline.
And I also have a shout out to Jane, the user Jane. She knows who she is. For the weekly like amazing tweets for each episode because she's been so
Yes,
thorough and like the
oh my
connection she's
goodness.
making. And I know this podcast might come out after the like season 3 episode 10 party, but like
Big shout
done
out to
a very good job, girl. So
Yeah.
oh my goodness. I cannot imagine doing that. I mean,
yeah.
incredible work ethic. You know, just being able to do it after spending, you know, the past year kind of in mourning. And you know, she gives, you know, she's just incredible. So big shout out to
She's
her.
cool.
Yeah.
Um,
And shout out to Sav for her lovely
Woohoo.
hand holding fan art this week.
Yes.
What?
yes, Sav.
It
Well,
was
I didn't
lovely.
see that one coming. But thank you guys.
Sort of bouncing around. It was so nice to see.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Credit
guys.
where credit's due.
All right. Well,
That it?
if there's anything you guys want us to, you know, talk about, or, you know, maybe there's a favorite fanfic you read this week that you want us to maybe do a shout out on, or maybe a really cool fan art that you found that, you know, you want us to credit the author, of course, and, you know, give a shout out to the author for making that fan art, please feel free to DM us or curious cat us and let us know. We love the fandom and we want to give back to the fandom. So, where can we find you at? Where can we find all of us at?
Okay, so but I mean,
We are the Avonlea Tales at the Avonlea Tales on Twitter. No capitals, no spaces. But individually, where can we all find you at besides the Avonlea Tales?
and so I'm under I'm at Chaos and Cam, so a little underscore between each word. That's me.
Yes. Mine is Gil to my Anne with an underscore under each after each word. On Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr. It's just all the same.
Nice. I'm a Nature Symphony on Twitter and then Starry Sherbert on Tumblr, but that page is basically dead. So mostly Twitter. Thanks.
And last, I am at Queen Anne Blythe on Twitter. I am also at Queen Anne Blythe on Tumblr. I do reblog a lot of stuff on Tumblr. I'm not super active on it. I just queue up and reblog stuff on Tumblr. So if you want to follow me for, you know, gifts and stuff that I queue up, you're more than welcome to. Thank you guys so much for watching this first episode. We hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, keep
Turning.
That.
Butter.
Thanks, guys. See y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.